Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and warm welcome to MADARA Cosmetics Investor Webinar. As always, we will start with company's presentation, which will be followed by questions and answers session. You are kindly invited to participate by typing your question in the questions box, which can be found in the settings panel zone. I would now like to turn the conference over to Mr. Uldis Iltners, the member of the management board and shareholder of MADARA Cosmetics, who will proceed with the presentation. Uldi, the floor is all yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, dear participants. Thank you for joining MADARA Cosmetics webinar. Today, I will present the management report on the unaudited financial statements for the 6 months of 2021. As usual, you are welcome to send in your questions, and I will answer them in the second part of the webinar. Actually, we have already received a lot of questions before the webinar, so I will try to get through my presentation as quick as possible, leaving time for your questions. Before we start talking about the results of the first half of this year, I would like to, in few words, to remind you on the most important elements of our company. MADARA Cosmetics is still the leading cosmetics producer in Baltics, specialized in producing of natural and organic certified skincare and makeup products. Our core business is within European Union with our brands Madara and Mossa. Smaller part of our business is contract manufacturing. Innovation is a very important element for our business, and we are one of the most innovative organic certified cosmetics producer in Europe. Every year we launch new innovative products. Big part of our business is in e-commerce. E-commerce is a very important part of the company that we actually focus on the most, and where we expect also further growth. Yeah, so this was really short about the elements, and now we continue with the 6 months results. We have had another very good half year of growth. Turnover has grown by more than 20%, which we think is a very good achievement, knowing that in the first half of last year we had the fastest growth in recent years, and overall the first half of last year was very special. We have also achieved good results in terms of profit. The gross margin reached 68%, which is an increase of 7 percentage points compared to the first half of last year, and it is the same as in the 12 months period of the previous year, so it remained the same as last year. EBITDA has increased by almost 25%, and profit before taxes increased by 31.6%, and these both indicators have grown faster than turnover. Net profit margin is 20%, and it is lower than last year due to income tax on dividends paid. In the previous year, income tax on dividends was in the second half of the year. Yeah, so overall, I believe that we have achieved very good results in the first half. Now let's take a closer look at sales breakdowns. Here we see the geographical sales breakdown. The biggest change is the increase in the outside EU share by 4 percentage points, making 9% of the total revenue. However, this is not a record for our company, and historically the share of outside EU countries has been around 10%. Although less predictive than EU channels, our current outside EU sales channels look very stable, suggesting that this proportion could be maintained. 2/3 of turnover is in the European Union, where Finland is still the largest market, with 8% growth in the first half of the year. Germany and France are the next largest export countries, and the turnover of each of these countries is actually no longer far from the turnover of Finland. Looking at sales by category, there is not much to say. The distribution remained at the level of the first half of last year. We see an activation in the contract manufacturing segment, which suggests that in the 12 months period this year, the proportion of contract manufacturing might increase. Go to sales by product groups. There is also not much to say about the distribution of Madara brand by product groups. The distribution has remained similar as before. I can only mention that makeup section continues to strengthen, and it is likely that we will continue to see an increase in the makeup proportion. Let's go to the next slide. Some more numbers. In this slide, we see a summary of income statement. So let's take a quick look at the key figures. We have achieved a turnover of 9.9 million euros. Gross profit is 6.7 million euros, which is a significant increase compared to the corresponding period of the previous year. Profit before taxes is 2.3 million euros, which is an increase of 31.6% compared to the previous year. Taking into account the growth and planned development of the first half of this year, I can confirm that the turnover target for 2023 remains intact. For the first time, we have included in the management report information on the direct proportion of e-commerce. As you may have noticed, direct e-commerce is a very important part of our company, which is also our main focus. In the first 6 months of this year, the proportion of direct e-commerce in our business was 40%, which is a lot, and which is an increase of 4 percentage points compared to the first half of previous year. The high proportion of direct e-commerce allows our company to some extent be classified as an e-commerce or technology company. We believe that that e-commerce in our business will grow, and we will continue to focus on further developments in e-commerce. As usual, in the next slides, we will look at the most important events of last year. The first of the most important events is the takeover of distribution in the Netherlands, Belgium, and the United Kingdom. Following the successful experience in France and Germany, where the company has had direct distribution for more than 3 years, so we have made decision to start direct distribution also in these 3 markets. And direct distribution will allow us to work more efficiently with retail channels, as well as allow us to make more efficient investments in brand awareness. So we expect that in these countries we will be able to achieve rapid growth in relatively short time. So the market at this point, all of these 3 markets are completely taken over, and so we already actively implementing our plan for this year. So the next one, also this year we have continue to strengthen our position as one of the most innovative manufacturers of natural cosmetics, and have successfully launched new products. I'm most proud of the development of SPF 50 sunscreen products, which are one of the technically most complex products in our industry. And we introduced both emulsion product and stick format to the market. And in terms of stick format, we are actually one of the first in the natural cosmetics industry with this kind of solution. And here are some pictures on our new products. These are the latest launches, additional products of anti-acne line and vitamin C serum. This year the company celebrates its 15th anniversary. This is an age that shows a certain maturity, and I'm very grateful to our team for what we have achieved in these 15 years. The natural cosmetics industry is still the fastest growing segment of the cosmetics industry, and we are in a very good position to continue development and show even greater success over the next 15 years. It's also important that mitigating the climate change has become an important task for all of us, and therefore it's very important that development is sustainable and environmentally friendly, where we actually pay a lot of our attention. This year has also been rich in various awards and recognitions, as well as we have been partners in several fashion shows with our makeup products, and these recognitions are, I would say, always a pleasant surprise, and show that that our R&D team work is moving in the right direction. We have reached the end of presentation. As usual, I would like to invite you all to follow the news of our on our investor page, as well as to read the recently published ESG report, which tells about our activities in the field of sustainability. Yeah, so this was in short about the 6 months results. I hope you found it interesting. In the appendixes of the webinar presentation, which will be published later on the Nasdaq system, you will find full information on the financial statements. Yeah, so thank you for your attention, and now I will answer your questions. I will start with the questions that we have received before the webinar. Yeah, so the first question is, how are you working now, given the high vaccination rate among employees? Yeah, more than 80% of companies' employees have been vaccinated, and actually in some departments the proportion of vaccinated has already reached 100%, and this allows us to reduce previously implemented strict requirements and organize the daily work more freely. Of course, we still continue to comply with all requirements of Latvian government, and yeah, the high proportion of vaccinated employees gives us kind of hope that we will not face significant challenges in organizing daily work in next months. Next question, please discuss what you saw as the benefits and difficulties of the COVID restrictions on the working environment. For example, are employees happier that they don't have to commute? Are you having difficulties with R&D, for example, without employees in the office? The office is still partly working remotely, and this will not change in near future. And it seems that this will remain as a system. The work of the product development team and R&D has not been affected by COVID constraints. Actually, by the way, our R&D team is 100% vaccinated and works normally in the laboratory. Next question. How has the rise in raw material costs and transportation costs affect the business? What are you doing to mitigate the impact? The global situation with the rising raw material and transport prices has, of course, also affected our company by some extent. But I would say that the impact is not significant, and we are currently able to compensate it with economies on scale by producing bigger volumes. Next question. What was the reason for setting up direct distribution in UK, Netherlands, and Belgium? Please provide some examples of the positive, negative effects of direct distribution. As I mentioned in the presentation, our experience so far in Germany and France has been very successful and has allowed these countries to grow rapidly in recent years. According to our experience, direct distribution is more efficient. The downside is that there is a higher risk related with the staff recruitment and initial investments or costs to build the organization in each market. Next question, please remind us of the countries where you already have direct distribution capabilities. The markets are Latvia, our home market, Germany, France, and starting from this year, the Netherlands, Belgium, and UK. And we are currently preparing to start direct distribution also in Lithuania and Poland, which might start in the beginning of next year. Next question. The company is capturing new customers through the direct e-commerce channel. How did they learn about Madara and what cosmetics did they use before? I think European cosmetics market is mature with limited overall growth. So I would like to better understand from where Madara is taking market share. It's actually a good question that I may not be able to answer fully because I don't have relevant research data. I agree that the cosmetics market in Europe as a whole is not growing much, but the natural cosmetics segment continues to to grow faster, which means that more and more people are becoming users of natural cosmetics every year. So part of our new customers are the ones who start using natural cosmetics, and part of the new customers come from other natural cosmetic brands. So due to low customer loyalty in the cosmetics industry, customers are actually quite open to new products and brands. So I hope I answered the question. Let's go to the next one. What is the typical mother customer? For example, age, education, living location, etc. The typical mother buyer is a young woman under the age of 35, living in the city or close to the city, with the middle to middle high income, is in permanent relationships, and often has at least one child. So these were some elements of our typical customer. So let's go to the next question. From your repeat customer purchase info, how did cosmetics consumption per customer change through the COVID restriction, since they were not going out as much? For example, if pre-COVID level was 100%, how much was it during lockdown, and how much has it recovered now? The average purchase did not change significantly during COVID. We actually observed 5% increase in the average purchase, but we do not directly link it to the COVID situation. So I would say that there was no impact in the average purchase due to COVID. And the next question: the liquidity of the stock is very low. What do you think of the situation, and how can you address the issue? Yeah, so to answer this question, there are several aspects to consider. The first one is that possibly less than 16% of the shares are actually part of the free float. Means the freely tradable that are not held by founders or strategic investors or management. And then if we look at the next one, if we look at the trading activity over the past 12 months, it suggests that more than 10% of the free float has changed hands. So clearly there is a greater mix of buy and hold long term rather than speculative investors. Then the next point is that LHV Punk is providing the service of a liquidity provider, which ensures smaller retail investors relatively easily buy and sell shares in smaller quantities. So in volumes in few thousand euros per day. And then the next point is that those investors who are looking for transactions in larger amounts, that they should contact a broker who is active in the stock, for example, LHV Bank, and talk about the interest. And until now, also bigger share parcels were sold and were bought. So yeah, but it might involve a broker or help of investment banker. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next question. And the company can be proud of its profit and profitability indicators, which are impressive. Nevertheless, the revenue growth in second quarter was moderate. Do you see strong demand on the products in the second half of 2021? What are the measures to accelerate the sales growth further? In addition, as an investor, I believe revenue of 20 million euros is achievable in 2021. At the end of last year, we announced a turnover target for 2023, and we plan to reach a turnover of 27 million by 2023. And to achieve this goal, the average growth should be 20%, which we also achieved in the first half of the year. And we plan similar growth also in the second half of the year. The second quarter of last year was actually quite specific, and I would say it's not a very good period for comparison. And yeah, as I told, our announced sales target for 2023 is still valid. Yeah, then we have a question in Latvian. Kādi kriteriji pastāv unique users klasifikācijai? So in English it could be how you could explain the classification of unique users. And then the answer is unique users are unique buyers who have made a purchase within the particular period of time. In case the customer has made purchases several times, in the unique users context, this customer is counted only once. So then the next question, it's also in Latvian, so I will try to translate it in English. How develops your cooperation with Douglas in Germany and the HUD Group? How important is the turnover of these customers, and what is your prognosis on further development? Yeah, the both mentioned customers, Douglas Germany and the Hut Group. These are third parties online stores. Also in Douglas Germany, we are working only in the in their online shop, and we have started working in these channels this year, but the sales are, I would say, not large enough to be considered as significant in the context of company's total sales. But overall, these channels are performing well, and in general, third-party online stores are a very important channels. And your mentioned customers, Douglas and the Hut Group, they are among our most important third-party online shops. So let's go to the next question. Oh, sorry. Which of the new markets is much complicated business-wise right now? Yeah, good question. Each market, I would say, each market is different and complicated in its own way. And if we are talking about those markets where we have direct distribution, then currently the UK market is specific, which relates to Brexit and the fact that the UK is not in the EU anymore. So they have slightly different regulations. However, we have enough experience working with markets outside the EU, so I don't see this as really as a big issue. The UK has strong three third-party online shops, so this is one of our focuses in the UK. The next question: which products are the best selling in new markets? Actually, there is not a big change, and as before, our strongest product lines are the SOS and the Thai Miracle lines. In the spring and summer season, one of the strongest product lines is sun protection products. So then the next question: which are the most hottest topics in organic cosmetics segment now? Yeah, I would say that plant stem cells is one of the hot topics because they promote biodiversity and are environmentally friendly and effective in skincare products. And several Mother's sunscreen products and also the new acne line have plant stem cell ingredients. Then the next trend is that the consumers are focusing not only on ingredients but also packaging and actually overall sustainability of the company. And we see that it is important to have the packaging recyclable, and if possible to have post-consumer recycled materials. Also, retail chains are asking this information before choosing which products to list. And in our company in 2020, around 30% of mother skincare range packagings had 50 to 100% post-consumer recycled plastics, and yeah, we are working to increase this proportion even more. Hope I answered the question, and let's go to the next one. Which are the latest innovation in general in face cosmetics world globally? Yeah. We see that a lot of influencers and celebrities are launching their lines, their cosmetic lines, which is an opportunity for us in private label or contract manufacturing segment. And in this in the first half of this year, we started the cooperation with also with one very interesting celebrity. The production amounts probably are not that big to discuss it here in this webinar, but we see that this trend is quite hot at the moment. And probably also the personalization is another trend. For example, by creating concentrated active ingredients that can be added to any other skincare products. For example, like Madara custom actives. Yeah, so these are probably some of the trends and innovations what we currently see on the market. Yeah. Then the next question, what I see in the chat box. Will you consider a more detailed geographical breakdown of revenues per country in future reports? This is actually a good idea, and we could add information of the biggest markets if you find this information important for you. So this is something that we could add to our reports. The next question: do you believe you will be able to sustain current levels of profit margins or even improve them? Yeah, I don't want to give you any promises, especially promises about improving the profit margins. But I believe if we will be able to implement successfully our plans, then we might sustain the current levels, or at least be close to the current levels. So there are also other questions. So let's go to the next question. do you consider using main e-commerce channels such as Amazon to accelerate growth? Why? Yes or no? Amazon is actually already a sales channel for us. It's still probably rather small compared to other channels, but yeah, we are planning to allocate some resources to work with Amazon even more actively. So yeah, the answer is clear. Yes, Amazon is already our channel, and it might become even bigger channel for us in the future. So then let's move to the next question. Are there any large capital expenditures planned in the near future? If there are, what could be a potential impact of financial results? So at the moment, we are not planning large capital expenditures, at least not for next year. We are planning some capital expenditures, but these expenditures will be approximately in the level of previous years. This year we will also have further investments in our production process. At the moment we are launching a new automatic packaging line for our bottles and tubes. With this, we will have now the first robotic hands in our production, and yeah. So also for next year, we are planning further investments into production, improving production process, but the amounts of the investments will not be significantly larger than in previous years. So hope I answered your question, and let's go to the next one. Are you considering acquisition opportunities in the market of boutique cosmetic makers inside of or outside of Baltic markets? Yeah, actually our eyes are open all the time, and we are observing the market situation, and yeah, considering and looking at some opportunities. But my answer will be the same as previously. So we will be rather picky making these decisions to acquire somebody, and we will do this only if there will be additional synergy. For example, that we would have better access to the retailers in our focus markets, for example. The next question: could you provide some guidance of new product R&D release pipeline? Yeah, I need to be very careful here. There will be actually in autumn there will be a very nice addition to our makeup range, a new product category which we are missing at the moment, and it took us quite a lot of time to develop formulation we are happy with, and so finally we have done it. and the R&D work is finalized. And in this autumn, actually in October, there will be the new product launch for the makeup line. So I wouldn't expect that this significantly will change the picture, but it might add a few percentage points to makeup share in the total sales. And of course, there are also other products in the pipeline. We are launching new products every spring and autumn, and every year these are at least 2 products spring, 2 products autumn. Very often these are more than 2 products. And so this will continue, and yeah, also for next year, and yeah. The next question, why does the company prefer to keep its debt level near zero and pay dividends while having good track record and high ROIs on projects? Marta, can you help me please understand this question? Sorry, but I need some help to understand. Okay, so probably we can answer this question separately in written when we publish the webinar presentation. Sorry. The next question: what new products or new product lines are you now developing? So I think this question was already answered when I talked about new planned product launches. Let's go to the next question. Are you considering acquisition? Oh, sorry, this was already answered. What are the key elements of your marketing strategy? Our key elements is we are modern and effective natural cosmetics producer, natural cosmetics brand. We are modern, and also we are very important element is that we are thinking about sustainability and the climate change, and trying to somehow also impact these things, which we think it's very important to make some contribution to reduce the climate change, and to grow and to continue to live in a sustainable way. Hope I answered the question. The next question: it is quite impressive to see our company of a relatively small size managed to build significant direct e-commerce penetration. Can you provide some color on your marketing strategies? Could you provide a rough spread between a direct response and mass media marketing? So if I understand the question correctly, then the e-commerce marketing it consists of actually of set of elements, and there are different elements. Different elements working with existing customers, and there are different elements acquiring new customers. And I think we have built in recent years quite good internal knowledge how to effectively implement the e-commerce marketing activities. Of course, our big partners for e-commerce communication is Facebook and Google, as it is for most of the companies. So it's I think it's there is probably nothing really kind of genius or something unique. I think it's kind of it's precise daily work and know-how how to do the marketing, the e-commerce marketing effectively. Let's go to the next question. Thank you for a great presentation. How much product production capacity do you have left in existing facilities before you need to deploy more capex? Can you prioritize own production over product manufacturing if needed? So as I was talking when I presented 12 months results of last year, we in the beginning of this year we were working to increase to double the production capacity, and now I can confirm that we have almost finished this project, and we have a plan how we can double the production amounts. To do this, we will need to add some production equipment. But this, as I told before, the investment amounts will not significantly exceed the investment amounts we had in previous years. And we need to also expand our organization, to add some people in our production process. But it's important that we can do it in our existing premises without huge investments. And the second part of the question was, can you prioritize on production over contract manufacturing if needed? So I think it would not be a good decision to prioritize own production or contract manufacturing, because it would mean that we would lose the contract manufacturing part. At this moment, I don't see the need to prioritize, and we will do our best to have enough production capacity not to come to this decision of prioritizing our own brands over contract manufacturing. Yeah, so then I got help from Marta and about the
Uldi?
yeah.
Yes, so there is also a clarification about the question. I will read it for you. So considering historically high return on investments, wouldn't it be more efficient for the company to reinvest into the new projects rather than pay off debt and pay out dividends? So that's the clarification for the previous question.
Yes, yeah. So as I told, we are observing what's going on in the market, and we are observing some other brands and producers. But in the same time, we are, as I told, we are rather picky, and our expectations are that these additional projects would add other synergies. And what is the reason for that? We think that our current success is it's because we have an excellent and balanced team, excellent colleagues in our team, and when adding new companies or new brands or new projects, it will mean that we will dilute this capacity of our team into these other projects, and this is always this question: if we see that we can still grow with our existing brands, so what is the reason why should we take other projects which involve certain risks, which are usually higher than our own brands, which we know already? So usually this is the biggest concern, that we don't want to dilute the capacity of our team into many new projects, because who knows, then probably we will not be able to achieve that good results for our existing brands. And actually, it's not that easy to build this good team, and it requires time. It's not something that's possible to do in a few weeks. So this is how we think. Probably we think wrong, but this is the way how we see it. So hope I gave an answer to your question, and let's go to the next question. You mentioned that the customer loyalty is low in the cosmetics industry, so they are willing to try new products, contributing to Madara's growth. I like customer coming to Madara, but hate to see them leave. What are you doing differently to competitors to improve the customer loyalty? Customers are switching, and And usually customer is using more than one brand, very often combining several price levels, and also combining products from synthetic with products of natural and organic origin. So this is, I like when visiting my friends and relatives, I usually take a look in their bathroom, what do they have in their cupboards. And usually I see, even for these really loyal Madara people as customers, I see that there are actually several other brands, and yeah, and many people, they have really like a huge mix of everything. And it's actually also not that easy to keep the customers away from switching and trying new products and brands. So we have certain in our e-commerce marketing. This is a certain section where we work with our existing customers, and trying to give them in right time, right impulses to continue to use our brand. But of course, we do not succeed in every case, and also our customers are leaving some time and switching to other brands. So this is the yeah, game of cosmetics industry. Yeah, hope I answered. Let's go to the next question. Please share how you are utilizing data analytics. How are you trying to improve the quality of data and also improve the company's ability to better analyze the data? Hmm. Yeah, so we have quite a big internal customer database, and we are working with this database rather detailed and carefully to understand our current customers, and to make kind of activities that how we can keep working with these customers. So this actually relates to our to the previous question. So every year we improve also this data analytics, and yeah, so this is what shall I say? This is one of the very important parts of our e-commerce marketing, which we are doing mainly internally, but some, yeah, also using some external help to do this. The next question, and I think it's currently the last question. Congratulations on the 15-year anniversary. Where do you want to take the company over the next 15 years? Love to hear your vision and dream. It's a very good question. If I remember the company 15 years ago, then we were we were 5 people company in 40 square meter laboratory, and yeah, in that time 15 years ago, it would be very difficult to expect and see, to imagine this situation where we are now. And I think 15 years, it's really a long time. So it's so there is potential for really huge development. And yeah, of course, my vision and dream is that we could become one of the biggest natural and organic cosmetics companies in Europe. But yeah, so this is just a dream, and yeah, please don't. This is not kind of binding, and it's really like a big vision and dream. Yeah, I really hope that we will be able to continue to keep the existing growth rate also for next years, and probably even for the next 15 years. Yeah, so at least this our current team is full of energy, and we see that there are a lot of interesting things that we could do. Yeah, good. There were actually very many questions, and I think this was the last question. I hope I answered your questions, and I hope it was interesting for you today. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention. And then we will meet again in next webinar in the beginning of March, when we will present the 12 months results. Good, thank you.
Uldis, thank you very much for the presentation, answers given, and for the great insight into the company's operations. So just to remind all participants that the recording will be available in the Nasdaq Baltic YouTube channel and in company's announcements. And participants, thank you for joining. Until next time.
Thank you. Bye.